So, Mom, tell me, let's see, you were talking about the St. Ben's magazine. So, Mom was telling me about how the school turned out a lot of dietitians that she went to.
Yeah. And they did take a lot of science classes with us. That's why I got to know some of them. But once a month, I think it was one member of the class, but this was juniors and seniors. Freshmen and sophomore didn't do this. They had to plan for the class, for the whole school, which wasn't a big school. Quite small. But anyway.
How many?
Couple hundred, I guess. But anyway, we always had good food though, because they raised their own food. They had their own gardens and their own animals.
And they baked their own bread.
They baked their own bread. So we had really good food. Couldn't complain about it. But this was just different. So we'd always be very excited about it. And they would have it like in a restaurant where you could. Well, you didn't really pick
like
out.
a buffet?
Yeah, kind of. It was a buffet. They served it buffet style. Whereas other times it was like family style.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice. You kind of look forward to something different. Although you had really good food, I could never complain about the food.
So was the dining room set up like with long tables, or
the dining rooms are separate rooms?
I mean, there were different ones.
Yeah.
More like in a house.
Yeah. There was the one, I remember this one, there was a junior, senior one. Wait a minute, there were separate rooms though.
For juniors and seniors?
And then they had freshman and sophomore was a bigger room. In the junior and senior one, we had round tables.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And in the freshman and sophomore, they had, well, they were tables, but they were long.
Like a picnic table?
Yeah.
Size?
Yeah. They'd have a number of those in the room, yeah. And then you were served. That's what I did, one of the things, just the serving. We didn't ever clear the table or anything. But in each one of them, there was a service place where the food was. But it was just there from a big kitchen over in the sisters'.
Oh.
Where it was cooked.
So the kitchen wasn't connected?
No.
Oh.
But it was, because there were a lot of nuns there, so they had big kitchens. But you couldn't see, you didn't know, you knew it came from there. So then they'd bring it over to these rooms which were connected to the dining rooms. And then there was somebody there that, I think it wasn't a student, it was somebody from the convent or something. And so they would have it there, and then they'd hand it out through the kitchen, or not through the kitchen, through this room, and then we would pick it up and bring it to the table. So that's kind of all we did. That was part of our job.
So was it like, if you ran out of something, could you go back and get
You could
some
if there
more?
was any left.
Oh, if there was any left.
So yeah.
So everybody had to have first before.
Yeah, everybody, yeah, right. And I don't think it happened too often that there was any left.
So what would the dietitian people, what kind of special, do you remember any special things that you had that would be out of the ordinary?
Well, it could have been a little out of the ordinary for our daily thing there. The only thing, I should remember some of these things, but I just don't. But I do remember one dessert. And it was, let's see. I think it was graham cracker, and then they put ice cream on it and froze it, and then put whipped cream on top of that, then a cherry. It was something different. It was very, very simple, but it was just something we didn't get. But they made their own ice cream too.
Oh my gosh, wow. So breakfast and lunch was the same thing?
The same setup? Yes.
So what would you have for breakfast?
Just a regular breakfast. It varied, like I said, they had their chickens and they had their animals and they had their milk.
So did you ever have cold cereal, or was that not even
Yeah, I
there
think
yet?
so.
Cold cereal?
I think so.
Hot
But-
cereal? Hot cereal would be hard to...
Yeah, but I do
over.
think we had it sometimes.
I know they kept it
But-
warm.
When I was a senior, I was on the side of the building that the road that came into the kitchens of the college. And it was a big, tall, kind of a manly-looking nun drove this old truck. And I still can hear her coming in with the milk cans rattling away. Oh, it was really funny. We see, here she goes again.
So she'd be bringing food to the...
Bringing
dining-
milk. She was coming. It was
Oh,
usually
milk.
milk, and yeah,
So did they have them in the milk can?
yeah. So they bring it to the kitchen and that.
And then they put them in pitchers or something, or...
You didn't get milk, just plain milk, very often.
Oh.
I think you had to pay for it because there was some girls that got milk, and I think they had to pay
Oh.
extra for milk. Why, I don't know.
So could you have milk on your cereal?
Yeah, I think so. There was a pitcher just for that, but
I
I don't
see.
think to just have a glass of milk.
I see.
Yeah.
So it was mainly meat and potatoes. Do you want a fork?
Oh no, I'm gonna just do this. Let's have a cookie too.
Okay.
These are so darn good.
Well,
Getting
well, they're at...
our lunch mixed up with our.
That's okay. These are cookies that my grandmother liked, the ginger snaps, so...
Is this her recipe or do you know?
I think it's the other one.
Hmm.
I think hers is more complicated. So mainly meat and potatoes kind of dinners?
Oh no, we'd have salad. No, it was very dietetic produce all the time.
Mm.
Bread, vegetables, salad. And then the
So they had a garden too?
Oh sure, they had root cellars or roots. Yeah.
So was lunch sandwiches?
The only time we ever had sandwiches was on a Sunday, and on Sunday we had our main meal at noon, and then we had our lunch at the usual dinner time, and that's the meal we'd have soup and sandwiches. That's the only time we ever had sandwiches. But they had a little cafeteria down in the basement.
Run by the school?
It's part of the school. Yeah, just on the basement floor, I should say, the first floor, I guess they called it the first floor. That's where they had their ice cream maker in down there. I suppose the nuns had one probably in their area where they were.
Wow.
But anyway,
What was, I mean, it was like those hand crank ones?
no, I think it was a machine of some kind. No, I think it was bigger than that. But anyway, you could get that. As I can remember, just two kinds of sandwiches. Maybe there was more. You had to, when you went down there, though, you had to pay. And that was in the evening. You wouldn't go any other part of the day there except just in the evening.
Kind of like if you were working on it late on a paper or something.
Or you're just hungry and you had the money. Most of us, I don't think, had the money. I did go there once or twice with Betty, but I mean, I don't think most of the
How much did it cost? To
I don't know. The ice cream was a nickel, I remember that. And you get a big piece of cake and a big scoop of ice cream.
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah.
Chocolate cake
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
with frosting?
I think so, because I wouldn't have thought of it being cake if it didn't frosting on it. And, let's see, with olive and nut. Betty liked olive and nut. That was one of the sandwich.
And
I don't
olive
remember.
and nut and cheese? How do you...
I don't know what it was
Did you
like.
keep it from falling
This
apart?
was just the name, and I remember. I suppose there was. I'm sure there was something else, but I remember that's what she liked. I thought, I can't imagine anybody having that. Kind of and then I know I had a sandwich too, but I don't even remember what it was. But I think it was more of a common, just an ordinary one I was familiar with at least anyway. But this wasn't a very big room. It was just a little room that they set aside for this.
Oh, so it had tables.
Oh yeah, they had little tables. Yeah, you didn't have. I don't know. I don't know if you could take it to your room. I suppose you could. I don't know. But anyway,
What else was down there?
some of our classes were on that floor, especially the science.
Oh. So in the cellar.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it was in the cellar. There was windows so you could look out, but it was a lower floor.
Oh, I see.
I think practically all the chemistry classes were on that floor. Yeah.
Well, tell me about, because it's so different, like Carrie had a room with one roommate, but you didn't when you went there.
More like being in the army. Yeah, well, it was kind of like that. But that was your freshman and sophomore year. And it was dormitory style, but it was just really dormitory style. Like I said, it was like being in the army almost. And you had a bed and a little stand, but you could pull curtains between each of these.
Like in the hospital?
Yeah,
kind of thing?
yeah, I like that.
And then you had a box or something you could put at the end of your bed? Was that, or do I remember that?
I don't think so.
No.
There was like, for schools where they put their coats and things. We each had one of those, but this was all along a wall. It was a locker.
So that's...
If you wanted, you couldn't, it wasn't right next to your bed. You had to go right, it was in the same room, but you had to go over to a locker and get your...
So they were metal lockers?
Yes.
Oh, they were?
They were small. But nobody had a lot of clothes then nowadays. Couldn't believe it. And then they're upstairs, it was like, you could, if you had a trunk and stuff in it, you could put it there. So I think everybody had a trunk like that, and you could go up and
check it out or something?
No, you just go up and get it.
No.
And that's where they would do anything, I don't think anything, do laundry for you. Like I'd have them do my pajamas and my towels. But it was up there that they would bring the laundry, finished laundry there, and we'd go up there and pick it up once a week.
So the nuns did it?
Oh, yeah.
So they used like wringer washing machines, or do they have any bigger?
Oh, I'm sure they had big ones, because I'm sure they did it for the convent and all, yeah. And the sheets and everything was iron, so they must have iron. They were all just really smooth. Yeah.
So did you have to bring your own sheets, or did they supply?
No, I don't know.
They had everything.
Yeah.
Blankets too?
And no, you had to bring your own blankets.
No.
But every week, I think it was on Friday, when sometime during the day, they would bring your sheet and pillowcase, and it'd be on your bed when you got there during the day.
That's nice.
Yeah, there was things that wish you could take along with you. Have things, yeah. It was really. I'm sure today they can't do that with as many students as they have.
No, I'm sure the students are in charge of it.
Yeah, and with all the different buildings and so on. Yeah. Let's see, anything else? And on Sundays we wore our we had our cap and gowns, and those you kept in your.
Before you graduated, you had them?
Oh yeah, because on Sundays we wore them to mass. You wore the cap and gown. Maybe not the cap, maybe just the gown. Probably just the gown, yeah.
So what color were they?
They were black.
Black? The caps were black?
Yeah. Oh no. no fancy hair.
So how did they keep track of, like, if they washed your clothes for you?
You had to have name tags on all your clothes. You knew that ahead of time, though.
So was that like the ones you had for Mike and I? You could buy them printed like that?
Yes.
Just in a roll and then...
Yeah, you had to sew them on, yeah. Just like that. Yeah.
So did it ever have a big blizzard there when you were there?
There was a blizzard, but I don't think it evidently hadn't hit that area, but it had the Marshall area, I know, down south. Although we weren't that far from today, when you think of it, we weren't that far from Marshall, maybe a couple 100 miles. Of course, when we were there, it seemed like a couple thousand because there was, but
Tell me about, you told me one time about, I mean, you couldn't, there was not like phones that you could call home or anything, or you said Eileen sent you something.
no, there was no phones there. Even we were close. We were in a little town, little. I mean, little. We could go over there, and it was like a grocery store, but it still had a lot of things that girls would need. I forget what the name of that store was, but anyway. But even when we wanted to go even there, you had to sign out.
Oh.
Gotta get. Do you remember when there was a boy that was kidnapped right from St. Joe's a few years ago? Oh, there, I don't think he went out. He was on his bicycle. He went someplace. He never returned. But it was nationally. I'm sure you probably saw. Or I can't remember the name, but they never did find him. Even to this day, I don't think that what happened to him. But anyway, I don't know how they get up on that 10.
Just that they made you sign out.
I guess so. Yeah.
I wanted to keep track of where you were.
Yeah, they had to know where we were. Oh, the phone business.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't any phones, but I'm sure that in an emergency you could go to the office. So I don't think it was that there wasn't anything that wasn't available, but I'm sure there was. Yeah.
But how about the mail? Did you get mail every day?
Oh yeah, they had mailboxes as far as.
So every day you could.
Yeah, you could go and it's one of these twisted. You had to have a combination.
Like a lock, or just a
I think it was just a combination number.
Yeah,
no, there was no lock.
Like in Ferndale. Yeah. But you said Eileen sent you something. Sent you cards or something.
Eileen, when the first couple months, she sent me we had penny postcards then. And I think she sent me one every day. So you can see why when I reach heaven, I want to see her first.
But you didn't say, another thing I want, because I think you didn't mention this time. So after you got to be a junior, then the sleeping arrangements were different for you?
Yes, then there was 3 of us in a room. And when we were seniors, Betty and I had a single room. And the reason and it was in a nicer part of the big complex. And the reason for that is so many girls, the war had started, World War II had started, and a lot of them left when it started. They didn't stay. So there was space available, so they let us have the nicer rooms.
So they picked your roommate, or?
Yeah, I guess they did. But Betty was my roommate when I was a senior. When I was a junior, Jen, what was your last name?
Powers?
You've heard me speak of Jen. Yes, Jen Powers. She and Betty and I and another girl from North Dakota. Her last name was Kraft. That's all I remember now. But we were up in a room that was kind of toward the top of the building. No, there was just 2.
No,
Betty wasn't within this. She wasn't in this group.
But this was 3.
This was 3.
Yeah.
But it was in the winter. It was really kind of cold.
Oh.
But anyway, her name was Angie. That was her name. And she would dress and undress under her covers. We always laughed about it. She was so funny. It was cold up there. Yeah.
Sounds like you were in the attic.
Well, I think maybe we were at one time, but it was pretty nice, but still.
So the war broke out when you were between being a junior and a senior?
43. No, wait a minute. I graduated in 43. The war started in 41, yeah. So I think I was in the middle of my junior year.
Oh. Because
I remember they told us about it during dinner time on a Sunday, and I was working then, so I had to be a junior, I think. So I think
you were working.
Well, I was serving a little bit. We did. I mean, we really didn't do much for.
I thought you did that all 4 years. The serving thing.
Well, I did, but I was in another room.
Oh.
No, it wasn't. I don't know if I did that all 4 years, so.
So, like, if you were serving, then could you go join your class, or did you have to eat in the kitchen, or what did you do? Or you didn't have a kitchen?
When they were done, then we just sat at the tables that they had just finished eating.
Oh, so you were on call until you were the waitress until everyone left?
I don't think it was when everybody left, when there was no more food to bring and there was a space for you to sit down, you sat down.
I see.
And it was all a small operation, of course. It was.
So how many servers would have been on a shift?
I think they kind of had one for each table with the round tables, and the other they probably had 4 maybe.
4 servers? So you would do your whole class, 50 people?
I'm talking about where they had the other room, was like the freshman and sophomore, where they had more. I think in the junior and senior, I think you just 2 of us, or
2, one
just,
for each class?
I think there was just 2 people. Because, that wasn't very much.
Yeah, 50 people.
And the tables were all set. All you did was just take this food over here, and when they got done, you brought the dishes back.
I see. So was there ever any left?
I suppose there was. I suppose there was days where you do get something you don't really like, or nobody likes it. I don't remember, but another thing we did, their salads. There was a little room off all of this business, and it was called a cold room, and that's where the salads had been brought in earlier, and they were there. And that's one thing, as the waitress, you had to go and get those salads and bring them out and put them on the tables.
So they'd be in bowls already?
Oh, yeah.
So, like lettuce salads, or different ones, or?
Well, I can remember that's where I learned how to make apple and dates and nuts.
Yeah,
and,
I still like that one.
And carrot and
Pineapple.
Yeah, that's kind of how I learned about those, is from there. I guess not too much with lettuce, because probably, although the rooms were very cold, they were kept cold for that purpose.
Well, they'd have to outgrow a lot of lettuce to.
Well, and lettuce doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just a certain season too, really.
That's true.
Yeah.
So up there, you could grow cold crops pretty much all year round.
I don't think so. I think it got too cold. Because the ground would freeze and they can't grow. Like I said, the only 2 salads I remember, but I'm sure there was a lot of others, but those I liked, and I just kind of remember them.
Yeah, they're still good. I like them too. They're old faithfuls. I go back to them.
But I don't know whether they had apple trees there or not. I guess some parts of Minnesota you can grow apples, but I don't know.
Well, they must have traded somebody for something then. They must have had something.
They had to order all this stuff, because I think this lady that brought the milk in, I'm sure she went to someplace, a warehouse. Because St. Cloud was 7 miles from there, and it was a bigger town.
I see. So they could get stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, right in St. Joe, there was nothing much, but 7 miles, because we not only had students that lived on campus, we had students they had an old, that was another thing.
What?
They had this old bus that it would bring day students out from St. Cloud.
Oh, really?
But it was such a rattly old thing. But a lot of people had rattly old buses, cars, and everything else.
Do they look like school buses today?
It looked like a bus, but I don't think any writing on it. But anyway.
Painted yellow?
No, it was just a bus. And everybody loved the bus driver. I can't remember his name now. Yeah.
So there'd be a bus full of people that come.
Oh, I kind of doubt, maybe. It wasn't a lot of. But anyway, actually, most of my people in chemistry rode that bus. They were from St. Cloud.
I'll be darned.
In fact, all of them were except Delia. Remember I told about her? And she didn't come until she was a junior. But before that, there wasn't a lot of chemistry students in my class, the graduating class, and they were all from St. Cloud.
So let me see if I can remember. Did Delia marry your cousin?
No, Delia was from the Caribbean someplace. Can't remember which island.
She's a friend of Betty's?
Yeah. Well, yeah, afterwards, they became very good friends. Yes.
Where'd she live?
Oh, she had a private room with a bath in it. There was a few rooms there with private baths, and she came from a wealthy family, I think.
So you had to have a communal shower, the rest of you?
Oh no, it was they had bathrooms, and there was showers and tubs and toilets. There were several on the floor, so no.
So the tubs were private or no? You just...
Maybe there wasn't tubs. I think maybe it was just showers. When I think back,
probably.
yeah, just showers. Yeah. But there were a few rooms, very few. I would guess 4, maybe 6 that had
their own
bathrooms. Yeah. And what was I looking at the other day? I guess it was in the St. Ben's thing. They had some old pictures, and there was one of 2 girls there, and you could tell they were Oriental. And the first year I was there was 2 girls from China. I think they were sisters or something like that. And I remember they had a private bathroom. I can remember that.
So how would someone like Delia from the Caribbean or people from China, how would they even know about this school?
I don't know. But Delia had relatives back east, New York or someplace. In fact, when she graduated, I think she went back there. Now she's still alive. I think she still lives back there because when Betty got with what was that girl's name? When they got together in Santa Rosa, she married a banker or something. But as Betty said, they were well-to-do. I don't know how she ever got to St. Ben's, but anyway.
Yeah, probably knew somebody or something. I guess that's how you'd have to know.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay, I'm still going to ask a question about your teachers. Did you have any favorite teachers?
Well, of course, most all my courses are science, yeah. But anyway, when we were in the dormitories, there was always a nun that slept in the room with us.
In the big dormitory?
Yeah. And when I was a freshman, her name was Sister Mary, and I really liked her. And I had her for some biology classes. And then in chemistry, it was mainly Sister Gonzaga that I liked really well.
Sister Gonzaga.
The head of the department was an elderly nun. And
Chemistry department?
Yeah, and her name is Sister Magna. And there's some saint or something that was Saint Magna or something. I learned about it later. I didn't know it. She was quite elderly, but she was the head of the chemistry department. But I like Sister Drogatia. And then there was a younger nun, but I can't remember her name now. So the classes were so small.
So was it, how many in the chemistry department? Like 4 or 5?
Well, yeah, but that's probably it. Because when we graduated, there was me, then there was the 2 girls from, there was just 4, with Delia there was 4 of us that graduated in chemistry.
So Delia never used her chemistry?
I don't think she probably didn't have to, no. Yeah. And yet, when I saw the picture of her when those girls got together, she hasn't changed a bit. She still looks the same. Delia Maldonado was her name.
All right, I guess you can finish your dessert. I don't know what any other questions.
Cookie.
Okay, going.
1 year, although it was only 1 year, that we had a priest that was a religious teacher.
Oh.
But anyway, one morning, really it was blizzard outside. The wind was blowing and it was snowing. And so we just thought, we're not going to have a class today. And lo and behold, here comes Father. And they wore a big cape thing. And here he come in. Storming, so we had to have class that day. I can't remember the priest's name. But anyway.
So every day you had religion class too?
No, I don't think it was every day.
No.
Because he had to come to St. John's.
Oh.
How
I
he got
see.
over there, I don't know. During the blizzard.
Huh.
But at that time, now they have buses that run between the two schools, and they take classes at one school or whatever.
So they're kind of
Oh yeah,
together.
they're both
sort of?
Benedictine.
Both Benedictine, yeah. So what did Benedictine nuns wear back then?
Pretty much like St. Joseph. Wasn't very much different. But I think St. John's must have, maybe not the college, but there must have been something there, because my dad lived up in that area, your Sauk Center friend. He remembers St. John's. He said they really had owned a lot of property, I mean land there.
Oh. But I thought your dad was from Iowa.
He was, but I don't know, that family seemed to, they'd go and buy land here. Like I told you, that family bought land, whereas my mother's didn't.
I see.
Because of Dad and Hank, and it seems like there was another member of the family lived up there. And that wasn't far from St. Ben's, St. Sauk Center. But they lived up there. But he remembers the land that they owned there.
I see.
I think they had quite a bit of property, but
So was it an order of priests? Were they?
yeah, they weren't ordered. There were
Benedictine too?
some like Franciscans, or
They were the Benedictines.
they're the Benedictines, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still there today.
I think the school's kind of more well known, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, because it's a bigger school, and yeah. Didn't Mike tell me that one of his students had gone there or something?
Could
But
be.
if they stayed there, somebody told me they knew somebody that went to St. John.
Yeah.
But when we were in Rogue River, I think it was one of the years. Charlie
across the
Anderson across the street, yeah. He was on the school board and so on. He said there was one girl in a class that was offered a scholarship to St. Ben's.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess he said she wasn't able to go, so.
That's good.